Dr. Nicholas Muff of Cedro-Woolley, Washington does love trains. He loves them so much, he brought one home with him.
Want to see the basement?
And you better say yes, because right in Nicholas Muff's basement is a train, not a model, a train. That's right. There's an engine and a Pullman car and all the bells and whistles that go with it.
I always wanted a train in the house because I love trains. Big trains, little trains, passenger trains especially. It's the love that began, I think, before I can remember. I grew up with trains behind our house. The steam-powered daylights and larks and cab-forward articulators on the Southern Pacific were rode to Santa Fe.
Okay, but why did this guy even consider putting a train in his basement?
This is a project that I backed into. I started out to buy a throttle, a brake stand, a dash, and a seat. And the gentleman down there told me he would sell me the entire cab for the sum of the prices that he just quoted me, plus $35 an hour for the torch cutting. I thought about it and then thought that I would just take the engineer side of the cab. That was the portion that I originally had wanted to begin with. But Mr. Cahill at the scrapyard told me that he'd just give the fireman side to me. Otherwise, it would just end up as scrap. So then I decided I'd take both the fireman and the engineer side. And it was on the way home in the car that my wife said, well, what will they do with the nose to the locomotive? I said, well, they'll just cut it up for scrap. She said, can you stand to see the beautiful nose cut up for scrap? That's the best part of the locomotive. I said, well, no, I can't, so we have the whole thing. The most common question I get is, how did I get the train here in the basement? And I'm always a little embarrassed to say it because the answer is so simple, with a crane. And what we did is lower the locomotive in while the addition to the house was being built, and then we put in the beams and built the house on top of it. Well, the locomotive, when we got it, was in sad shape. Most F units have run maybe 3 million miles by the time they come to the scrapyard. It was filthy dirty, parts missing, and basically you could either leave it like it was or completely restore it. There was no just clean it and put a coat of paint on it. So we basically took the whole locomotive down to bare metal, sandblasted it, 12 gallons of paint and primer, body putty, restoring each piece as we put it back in. And so now the locomotive is basically like new or better than new. It's clean, everything in it works, and combined with the sound, it gives people who come here a real good feeling of what it would be like to be in the cab of an operating F unit.
The Pullman car also gives the visitor an opportunity to step back in time.
Want a tour? Right here, I've reconstructed a pneumatic door for the end of the car. Anyone who's ridden passenger trains will remember the pneumatic doors that sometimes work, sometimes they don't. Here on the left are all the electrical controls for the cars. Some of that controls sound, some of it controls motion effects. On the left side of the car, taken opportunity to convert that into a museum. And here we have various things on display from passenger trains in general and from the Kansas City Southern Railroad specifically. On the left here is a mannequin with a dress on it that Margaret Landry wore when she won the Southern Belle Contest in 1940 for the Kansas City Southern Railroad. Here's the seat where the porter sits when he's off duty, an annunciator which tells him who rung the bell, and through the door here, the lounge and buffet area of the car. Buffet has a refrigerator, microwave oven, hot plate for food service, and the lounge then has a seating, magazines. The china on the table is all from the Kansas City Southern Railroad. The glassware is reproduction, the silver is from various places.
Every fitting, every detail is accurate and helps to simulate the train experience. There are soundtracks running for stopping, starting, and just about any sound you'd expect to hear inside or out of a train. The tribute to trains doesn't stop at the basement. Upstairs in the library is a collection any museum would be proud to own.
The Kansas City Southern China collection is one I'm quite proud of. They're items that are hard to come by. Also, I have quite a collection here of American Flyer and Mark's toy trains, which people always enjoy when they visit.
Dr. Muff is a busy man, obviously. By day, he's an oncologist in a local hospital. But when he comes home, You could say this man's home is his train.